so if I can add to the story a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
like what my life was about, and the thing that I like what I do is I write about the ranching, and I write about the skiing,
Right.
and it kind of ties the two together. I
Well, in
think.
between there's life. And
Well,
life,
yeah.
life gets in the way right here in a lot of stuff, you know. And
Yeah.
I look at some of this stuff, and one title that you have is "The Passing of an Outlaw," and I
Yeah.
like your titles because they pull me in, like that one did. Tell me about that one.
I don't know about that one. You have to refresh me.
Refresh your memory.
Let's see. This is a problem. You know, if
But that's why it's good that you're writing them down, right? That's
Well,
why
yeah,
that's what
exactly.
you're doing, you know.
Oh, that one.
Oh, that one.
Let's see. Yeah. Well, there you go. That's sticking up for a kid. That's what that's about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so, well, tell me about that, sticking up for a kid, because that's a real true story that happened.
Well, you know, and this is the thing, like you can't tell it all in a column.
Right.
But this kid, I was his hero, one of his heroes, back when I was playing football. And he'd see me on the sideline and he'd say, "Oh, look, I got a new helmet." And his parents bought him a helmet. And then he'd have a jersey. And then he'd tell me how every time I'd have a long run down the sideline, he'd run down the sideline. I mean, he just played vicariously the football game as me. And so I just loved that kid. And then, you know, his dad died in a tragic car wreck when the kid was still young. And it turned him. He lost his father, and he got hard. And he and I had a few experiences. You know, I was tending bar somewhere, and he came in and he was obnoxious. And I mean, he had a reputation as a fighter. And I said, "You got to get out of here. You're no good for business." And he said, "Well, I'm not leaving." I said, "Well, you're coming out in the alley with me then." So we went to the alley, and I was prepared to get my ass kicked. And we squared off, and he says, "I can't fight you." And I said, "Well, good." I said, "Now get out of here." And so we got along, and it worked. And but you know, the cops hated him, and I really think they set him up. Got him in trouble. He went away. They put him in prison for a while.
Oh.
And then he came back, and the poor kid, I mean, he was beyond me and being friends with him, but we had interactions, you know, because he was working on a Woody Creek ranch, so we ran into each other up there at cow camp a couple times, and anyway, but everybody just kind of bad-mouthed him, and they didn't like him, and I just felt bad. And then, and he died. he was working for a ranch in Rifle, getting on a horse. His heart quit, and that was it for him. So that's that column.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, after he died, people were going, well, that son of a bitch. You know, and I thought, this is a real human being there. And you should have a little more respect. And anyway, so that was my dig at everybody.
Right, right. Yeah.
Don't know. You know, this, I'm telling you, a serious problem, because if you read my column this Saturday, and on Monday or Tuesday you go, God, what a great column that was, and I go, what the hell was that about? So
Well,
maybe that's because I've been doing it so long.
Well, and this, you know, it just comes around to history. I love history, and I love documenting history in different ways.
Yeah.
And that's what drew me to you, to talk to you, is because you have so much history, and you know this valley, and it's been, and you've seen it grow, and the bad with the good, you know. But
Yeah.
tell me about how important history is to you, and what it means today for people to know history.
Well, it's everything, I think. You know, I mean, I'm on the board of directors at the Aspen Historical Society, and because to me that's the most important organization in Aspen, or in the Upper Valley, because it documents the history, and that's what I try to do in some of those columns, is to, and I like to tell a story of. I mean, you can get a story about Walter Pepke or Darcy Brown about anywhere you look. So I try to feature people that you don't hear about every day, and because their stories are real too. And so that's kind of my historic push, is to do that. And I don't know, you know, the week comes. I mean, Tuesday rolls around, and I'm like, what the hell am I going to write about? And then something comes up for an idea. You know, everybody does that. They go, well, okay, how am I going to pay the rent next month? Oh, well, okay, I got that figured out. Anyway, so it's a challenge for one thing.
Right, I bet it is.
You know, sometimes I think, well, maybe I've used up my brain power on this, but then I get another idea and I go, oh, well, I'm going to stay after that. But you asked about what one of my best columns might be, and there've been a few that I've really liked. But one last summer, if you can't look out the window over there, but there's a nice birdhouse that nobody was using. A couple of bluebirds moved in last summer, raised a family there. And then the kids came back after they learned how to fly. The parents had moved on. The kids came back, checked it out. Well, the bluebirds are back this year. But last year I wrote that column and I tied it to home, where you're born, and then you go away and you come back. And it was the most popular column I ever wrote. And I was like, wow, I didn't, expect that.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I think when you write, the way you write, the type of writing that you do has a great connection between nature, life, history, and the future. It really connects all of it, and it's kind of, and for me, not being an avid reader, I mean, I like short things like this because I can comprehend them more. I really like the style of this, and I hope you continue this along with your memoir.
There you go.
And then the last part of history is that you said that your daughter now is living in, has kept the tradition of living in Woody Creek.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. To me, that's really important. I mean, my grandkids are sixth generation Woody Creekers. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, that's a long history. I like that. I don't think they appreciate it, but they will someday.
They will. They
yeah.
will.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else that you would like to tell me that I've missed? Because I'm sure I missed a lot. But
oh, yeah. Later on tonight when I'm trying to go to sleep, I'll go, oh, why didn't I say that?
That's true. Well, thank you for being with me today and being part of this Take 10 series that we're moving up and down the valley and getting beautiful people like you to tell us their stories.
Well, thank you. I am honored that you included me in this project.
Oh, yeah.
So I hope that some people enjoy it.
Yeah. Thank you.
And hey, don't forget to read my column.
And the book, the book.
Right.
Don't forget to get this book. This is a really cool book.
Yeah, thank you very much.